Video games are such a great marvel these days. There are there's so many of them, and they're so fun to play. We've video event where it's become where it's become a lowly, nerdy hobby to a gigantic, illustrious industry, business and industry that makes gargantuan amounts of money. One way to do this is by posting footage of people playing games on social media platforms like YouTube and Twitch, Pay, Patreon, and all that good stuff. But the thing that always intrigued me about this is the fact that it's become a sport. Yes, where yes, this is a sport where we exercise our thumbs, essentially. The only thing that kind of gets any exercise. But why do we think this is a sport? If you ask me, then the most common answer I'd say is, oh, I don't know. Even though I'm a guy who always playing video games so much, I just don't see how that could get to that kind of level. Well, pun intended, but I wouldn't really think sports and video games don't really go to my mind unless you make a game that's based on a sport, I guess. But enough about that. What I mean by this is that certain games have become parts of tournaments like Evo, where they list out five games like Smash Brothers and Tekken, shooters like Call of Duty, and racing games that like simulate all the sensations you'd feel in a car, like in Forza or Gran Turismo. But we need to get to the meat and potatoes of this. Why is this? Why do we consider video games a sport? Well, fortunately, I interviewed a resident teammate of a gaming team in Newberry College. His name is Andrew Moynihan. I took time with him to ask him about this question, and here's what he had to say.
So why would I consider video games a sport?
Yeah.
Well, a sport takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of passion, a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
So don't games.
Right.
When a person thinks of a game, they think of Pac-Man,
Yeah.
Donkey Kong, any of those games. There's games out there that are basically just as competitive as sports, if not more.
Right.
In Japan, it's actually the most common sport there. They have completely massive arenas that are full for just gaming. Nothing
Really?
else. No baseball, no football, no nothing.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
But the other thing is, have you ever played some of these games? Games
What?
such as Dota, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm,
Smash Brothers?
Smash Brothers,
Tekken?
Yeah. All of these games, they take massive amounts of commitment because you need to practice. You can't just throw someone in there and be like, oh, he's a master at this game now. No, you need to practice just as you would for baseball. Because the same thing applies. You can't give a kid a bat and he's not going to know how to hit home runs. So video games are a sport because you need to practice, and you can compete.
Right.
And you can succeed in these.
Right.
That is why I
Right.
think video games are a sport.
Well, I thank you, Andrew, for this interview.
No problem, Terrence.
Have a good day. Thanks, Andrew. I think he's pretty much solved the whole problem for us. Video games are a sport because it's competitive and it brings people who have a similar taste in this area together, and that's what sports do. They make you try to seem like, and everybody tries their best to seem to be the best that they can be in a particular sport field. And that's why games are seen like this. And they are. It's expanded into this stage where it's almost like ESPN worthy in a way. So this is why video games are considered a sport.